So, Haley Show, I'm first excited to welcome my co-host, Paul Hollis, author of the Hollow Man series and owner of Hollow Man Publishing and American Made VA. Paul, how are you? Excited about our guest.
Always excited to see Frank Fiore. Frank is a multi-genre, multi-award winning, best-selling, multi-talented guy. So welcome, Frank.
Thank you. I want to be here. Thank you.
All right, Frank. So we're going to IJIN now. But the reason we're going to go to IJIN is, again, tell a little bit about the book again. People need to definitely pick it up. It's available on Amazon and at frankfiore.com. And then we're going to talk about Shogun. And you've been continuing to go through the whole Shogun series. So we want to get feedback of people, especially in the Facebook group or any of the places right now that you follow me. If you're streaming this live, you got to go ahead and comment, like, share. Let's go, Paul. Let's go, Frank. What are you? First of all, tell us about IJIN again.
Well, Dajin is a story about a young American teenager, or a young American boy who then evolves into his teenager, growing up right before World War II in California. And he's an orphan, comes out that eventually becomes an orphan, and he's adopted by this Japanese family. This Japanese family who the officer is working with the United States Navy, as a liaison back in those days. You know how they used to do that. And so, at any rate, he is a fighter pilot himself. He's a colonel, and he works for Yamamoto. He works with him on his staff. At any rate, right before the war starts, he's called back, and he takes this young boy Connor Williams with him, and Connor then has to grow up. In the face of the Japan in World War II. So he's got culture shock. He's got to try and find himself. He's learns all about the Japanese culture and how to become, basically work within the Japanese, but still he's always an outcast. And that's where the word Daijin comes from. Daijin means outcast, barbarian, things, something like that. And he learns the ropes in Japan, but eventually, because of the country being bombed into oblivion, so to speak, they fear that the Americans are going to be an occupying force, and they're going to kill the Japanese and rape their women, things like that, all the propaganda that was going on around that. And he makes a decision, and you'll have to read the book to find out how he made that decision, to become a kamikaze pilot. And he then becomes a kamikaze pilot, and
Wow.
you do have to read.
Yeah, I definitely have to read the book. And Kamikaze, it was interesting. I was watching Billions. It's the old episodes, Billions, the series on Showtime, and they talk about kamikaze. We all need to become kamikazes, not kill ourselves, but become kamikazes on certain things, and just go full force, no stopping, and go. That's what a kamikaze is. Not even think about it. I don't know. This is just crazy, coach. That's with a bunch of financial investors. But I just had to bring up the kamikaze thing. Let's talk real quick. Shogun. I'm telling you, I was frustrated because I cannot multitask and watch Shogun because most of it has subtitles.
The Japanese
and the original one didn't have it. And you're fine with that, Frank.
Yeah, well, I followed the the subtitles, but yeah, it was. I mean, they wanted to film it in Japanese, and the whole thing is Japanese. And people that speak English, or when English is spoken, then you'll hear it. But even then, you'll see some English subtitles down at the bottom when the guy's speaking English. So yeah, it was very authentic, extremely authentic. And yeah, it is frustrating that you have to see the subtitles, but
I guess you got to pay attention completely and not have it as something on the background and really focus. Kind of like, no, I'm watching, but I'm streaming Billions right now. So I don't know. Is season 7 the last season of Billions? I will be very upset, but I think I might go to Shogun. I think what's cool about Shogun is the fact is that it's really done well. Ratings wise and stuff. It's one of the better series right now, isn't it, Frank? I was looking at the numbers. It looks good.
Yeah, you would think that something with Japanese, with the subtitles and everything in Japan and Japanese, that you think would put people off, but it doesn't. It's got a very strong storyline, and you want to find out what's going to happen to the main character. Who is he? Is he going to be a shogun? Right now, he's in the middle of a real problem. Right now, they want to kill him. They want to execute him. The storyline is that the young boy who is going to be the Tai, okay, and he's too young to take command. All right, so they have a council of different samurai from different areas of Japan, and the council is making all the decisions and running the country until that boy gets better. But of course, there's always the threat that that boy is going to get assassinated, and so you have that, and you have the council, and then Japan at that time is like on a razor's edge. You don't know which way Japan was going to go. There's a lot of warlords out there, a lot of samurai who want to control certain areas, and so you can see that they're going to need a shogun, a top warlord to run the country. It's similar to what we had today. I mean, they have today. Japan's the emperor, but he really doesn't make a lot of decisions. You have the administrators, and that would be the shogun. That would be the military arm and of how Japan's being done. And what's interesting about Shogun, and as it compares to my book IJIN, is that you take IJIN 300 years, you take Shogun 300 years later, 300 or 400 years, was it 600? Yeah, 300 years, 300 or 400 years later. And if you really study Shogun and understand that culture, then you could better understand IJIN and why these people did what they did. I mean, you have a very civilized, kind type of society gone mad, absolutely.
Right, 100%.
100%. And you've got to say, well, how did they do that? Not only that, but it parallels Connor Williams' path of what is he going to become a kamikaze? Is he going mad?
No, exactly. Oh my goodness.
Backdrop between these things.
So people need to go ahead and check out Shogun, available on Hulu, and I forget wherever, but go to Hulu. As Frank, again, we want our sponsor check from Hulu. Check that out, and then pick up IJIN today, available on Amazon and at frankfiore.com. Appreciate it, Frank. All right, you're listening and watching the Neil Haley Show, and we'll be back in just a moment.